Birdwatching in your backyard usually starts with moments like this: a sudden flash of feathers, a quick takeoff, and before you can process what you're looking at, the bird is gone. When you freeze that moment, you realize the incredible detail of these local visitors. This heron shows immense wing depth while suspended in mid-flight. Intense contrasting colors are often hiding right outside your window. A vivid blue plumage stands out sharply against the everyday green leaves and gray branches of a typical yard. If you have water nearby, you might even spot the striking elegance of a wading egret stepping carefully through the shallows. The challenge is what happens after the shutter clicks. Most hobbies end up with hundreds of these shots buried in a smartphone camera roll, sitting entirely unorganized and stripped of any context about when or why the bird was there. Combining standard smartphone photography with dedicated digital journaling tools allows you to transform these fleeting encounters into a permanent, searchable scientific archive. Step 1 happens before you open an app. A successful journal entry requires a photograph that functions as a piece of diagnostic evidence, containing enough identifiable context to verify the species. To get that evidence, you should follow a checklist called the 5 S's: shape, shade, size, sound, and space. Your goal is to capture as many of these physical and environmental details as possible in a single frame. This shot successfully captures 2 S's at once. We see the bird's shape through its distinct pointed crest, and we record its space, the specific habitat, because it is perched directly on these pine cones. You can actively encourage these shots by creating a bird studio. By intentionally placing natural props, like a native plant or a textured stump, near your feeders, you give the birds a perfect, predictable place to land that guarantees a clear view of their preferred space. Relying exclusively on a bird's color or shade leads to frequent misidentifications. Since many different species share similar plumage, you must look for the distinct shape of the beak or the specific space the bird occupies to be certain. Applying the 5 S's during the capture phase provides the hard data you need to reduce errors when logging your final journal entry. Step 2 is identifying your subject. Merlin Bird ID, a free application from the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, acts as the essential translation tool between your raw photo and official species data. Open the app and navigate to the Photo ID feature. From there, upload the clearest picture you took from your camera roll into the interface. The software scans the image for specific visual markers. It analyzes the vivid red and black plumage and cross-references it against millions of confirmed sightings to suggest a definitive species match. Once the app identifies the species, complete the process by clicking "This is my bird." This manually confirms the identification and adds the sighting to your digital life list. Utilizing these specialized identification tools ensures your amateur observations meet the standards of verifiable citizen science. Now we must organize the data. Leaving image files with default names like img1234.jpg is a common failure point that makes your library impossible to search later. Instead, use a mandatory naming formula. Start with the 4-digit year, month, and day, followed by the species name and the specific location. Apply this naming convention to the raw photo file before you upload it to any journaling software. This ensures the digital image of this hummingbird hovering over flowers is always tied to its specific metadata. With the file named, open a dedicated digital diary like eBird or Day 1 to begin the logging process. Create a new entry for the day and attach your photograph. Input the environmental context next to the photo. Specifically note the exact weather conditions and the time of day, as these factors influence which birds visit. Describe specific behavioral actions in your notes. Recording the moment a bird is tossing a black cherry into the air provides the essential context needed for a professional-grade log. A rigid naming structure combined with detailed behavioral context creates a highly searchable personal database of your local ecosystem. Maintaining this journal over several months reveals long-term behavioral patterns and seasonal shifts occurring in your own backyard. Your timeline provides evidence of how species adapt to the seasons. You can look back and see exactly how this bluebird managed to survive on icy branches during the winter. Consistent logging also captures the arrival of different species during specific weather events, such as these finches appearing during a heavy snow. A completed archive highlights the diversity of your yard, showing how a single location can yield vast differences in wildlife as the year progresses. Your challenge this week is to log 3 new species in your yard. Once you've mastered birds, you can use apps like iNaturalist to expand your journaling to local insects and plant life. This disciplined approach to journaling shifts your perspective. By documenting what you see, you become an active curator and a dedicated student of your local environment.